Using brass or iron furniture tacks was one of the favorite ways for American Indians to customize their firearms. The practice of decorating firearms and weaponry goes back as far as the guns themselves. European matchlocks and wheellocks, as well as Middle Eastern jazales and North African mikelets, are examples of weapons with elaborate designs. In America, early Pennsylvania rifles were often enhanced with inlays, carvings, and other decorative features to make them more visually appealing. While American Indians had long adorned their primitive weapons with animal skins, feathers, and other locally sourced materials, they quickly recognized that the arrival of white settlers brought new goods to the frontier. Simple brass and iron tacks, originally meant for securing fabric on trunks and furniture, were perfect for personalizing firearms, tomahawks, war clubs, smoking pipes, and other tools. Brass tacks quickly became a staple in Indian trade well into the late 19th century. Traders often decorated firearms in advance to make them more attractive to potential buyers. Studding or tacking weapons wasn't limited to Native Americans. Many white explorers and mountain men also used common furniture tacks and inlays made from materials like German silver, mother of pearl, ivory, bone, brass, and even gold, silver, and copper coins to personalize their firearms. For instance, Kit Carson's half-stock rifle featured inlays and tacks, while mountain man Mariano Modena preferred a half-stock Hawken rifle adorned with several inlaid metal stars around the patch box. This simple method of embellishing firearms persisted well into the era of metallic cartridge arms, appearing on various later shoulder arms and handguns like Winchester, Sharps, Spencer, Colt, S&W, and others. Saddles, knife handles, scabbards, holsters, tomahawk handles, riding quirts, belts, and several other frontier implements were also covered by this process. The ever-popular 5-point or Texas star, the federal shield, the Christian cross, sunburst patterns, arrows, serpentine shapes, fish, birds, and other forms were common designs for rifle and pistol stock tacking. Some firearms featured literally hundreds of tacks, while others had just a single stud or a couple to signify the owner's identity. Often tacks were used not just for decoration but also to repair or reinforce a damaged or cracked rawhide-wrapped rifle stock. Brass was by far the most popular type of tack or stud used, as it could be polished to a bright shine, retained its color, and didn't rust like iron tacks. While dome-headed tacks typically decorated Indian firearms, there were instances where brass or steel tack shanks were driven into the item being embellished, and the rounded heads were then sheared off, leaving the shanks flush with the surface. This method made it possible to arrange more tacks closer together, which resulted in a more complex design. Throughout the American frontier, rifles and equipment were also adorned using a variety of various techniques, such as carving, rawhide wrapping and beading, feathering, medallions, and even the trigger finger of an adversary hanging from the trigger guard. However, brass tacking was by far the Indians' preferred method for enhancing their firearms. While most documented Indian-owned guns remain unadorned, those studded with tacks have come to symbolize the Indian firearm.